Assalamu alaikum, folks, and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today's topic is important for all of us, no matter which religion we belong to or which country we live in. Everyone needs to take care of their health, especially when they cross a certain age or unfortunately get seriously sick. Today, we were lucky enough to be able to speak with a renowned scientist who's been working hard and fast to help us keep our bodies healthy at all times, no matter at which stage of life we are at. His name is Dr. Amin Malik Shah Abdul Majid. He is the founder and chief scientist at NatureCeuticals. He served the academia for almost 15 years and has published more than 350 academic articles in pharmaceutical journals and magazines. His area of expertise is in botanical drug research, targeting cancer and metabolic diseases. His passion is in developing herbal medicine that brings clinical benefit that is at par or exceeds the current modern medicine standard with respect to safety and efficacy. So let's talk to him to get a detailed understanding of what he has to offer to the world. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Amin. It's a pleasure to be able to speak with you. And we got tons of questions to ask you because these days we believe that it's important for us to know about the medicines which we use because many people are sick these days. And the very first question, of course, we would like to start with is, could you please tell us a bit about yourself, your professional background in research, and the universities and other organizations you've been associated with so far?
Walaikum salam, Dr. Brother Maksud. I have been in the research field for almost 20 years. My earlier on, my PhD, I did my PhD in University of New South Wales in Australia. My work was mainly to design new synthetic chemotherapy drug that help to reduce side effects and increase the potency. And so upon completion of my PhD, I served in University Science Malaysia, School of Pharmaceutical Sciences for almost 15 years. And during that time as well, I was constantly working with Australian University, Australian National University, ANU, and then University of New South Wales, University of Queensland, University of Western Australia, and many other universities around this region for cancer therapeutic research, herbal drug research, and so on.
MashaAllah, that's very wonderful. So what are the current research projects you're working on these days?
From the beginning, when after I finished my PhD, when I went back to Malaysia, I found that a lot of people were using herbal-based products to treat their disease, like cancer disease. And I saw that it was somewhat effective, and it made me wonder why herbal drug was not becoming a prescription drug. So my research then focused in how to make herb into prescription drug like standard therapeutics. And so I worked hundreds of different types of herbs targeting various pathways of the cancer carcinogenesis process. One of the main interests was a pathway called angiogenesis. This is a process of new blood vessel development, which is important for tumor growth. Cancer is like a seed. For a seed to grow into a tree, it needs to have roots to get nourishment. So cancer cells, for it to grow into solid tumor and for it to spread, it needs blood supply. And for it to get the nourishment, and it can grow bigger and spread. And so I was particularly interested in this particular pathway because during that time, a new drug was coming in, and this drug was found to be somewhat effective in targeting cancer by targeting the tumor blood supply. So I collaborated with Australian National University, and we established this screening platform and look at how is it possible or not for herbs to do similar thing like synthetic medicine in targeting this tumor blood supply. And we collected quite a number of different herbs from various extracts and so on. And amazingly, from this research, even our counterparts in Australian National University from John Curtin School of Medical Research, they were amazed to see that the effect of this herbal extract that we were producing were more potent to some extent to some of the synthetic products that they produce. And so from that onwards, we zoom in to make herbs in to target this angiogenesis process. And we had to do this project in a different way. Of course, we did a lot of research in cells and animals, tumor models, and we found that this was effective. We had quite a lot of PhD students, more than 100 postgraduate students from various parts of the world who worked in our laboratory. We set up a laboratory called Iman Laboratory from Iman Research. And so this one progressed along quite well, and many of our projects showed that a lot of herbs can be quite effective in targeting tumor growth by targeting this process. But one of the major problem with herbal-based products, the lack of consistency, because different plantation, Mr. Maksud, we always know like fruits, not all mangoes are the same.
Of course, there's no doubt.
Different level of sweetness. Sometimes from your own tree, the mango sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's not sweet.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
yeah, when coming to herbal-based products, the active compounds seems to fluctuate. And these fluctuations can be because of season, because of the soil, the way you grow the plants. And so that's why herbal medicine have issues in becoming a drug.
Right.
So we look at a different strategy. Because my experience in synthetic medicine, I try to make herbs speak the same language like synthetic medicine, i.e., you need to know what is the active compound,
right?
And you need to know how it works, because in science, when you're going to the pharmaceutical, these are the questions that needs to be answered. And so our work, we look into, they call it standardization. Once you know the active compounds, you need to be able to manufacture, not only from laboratory scale, at manufacturing scale. You have to make sure the active compound is high enough, and you need to validate to prove that. And then you need to perform all the safety tests and also clinical tests to show this drug is effective.
So could you please tell us the difference between herbal medicine and the current synthetic medicine, which everybody is using all over the world?
Yeah, the synthetic medicine, actually, of course, they are kind of relatively new. In fact, before the middle of 19th century, most of the medicine out there was herbal medicine. The first synthetic medicine came in 18th century. Chlorohydrate, it was mainly used as a sedative, hypnotic medicine. The key difference is herb got polymolecular, that means got many compounds inside the herb. When you take an extract, there are hundreds of compounds. Synthetic medicine tend to be unimolecular, that means one active compound. So when you have a disease, a polymolecular medicine will target many aspects of the disease, the many different components. Synthetic medicine will only generally target one component. So in modern medicine, to circumvent this problem, they use many synthetic medicine for treatment strategy. For
Oh,
example, when you have cold, they may give you anti-inflammatory, antipyretic for your fever, antibacterial for your throat, lozenges, and those kind of things. So herbal tend to be, okay, it can be a uni herb, that means one herb, or a
mhm.
mixture of herbs. Why? Because the many different compounds from different herbs that can give the activity. And at the same time, herbal medicine, there are certain composition when combined, it will reduce the toxicity, for example.
Right.
So that's the main thing. Polymolecular and synthetic, unimolecular. That's why in our drug, we call it polymolecular medicine. Because being polymolecular, you got many molecules to look at. Some already known to mankind, some not yet known
Hmm.
because
Okay.
of technical challenges in our instrumentation to detect them.
Mhm.
So synthetic medicine, since you know what it looks like, it's easy to how to detect them, to
Yeah.
prove them, hey, look, this is the compound, and to show to the regulatory authorities when you manufacture, look, this is the compound, this is how much it is. But when you're coming
Right.
to herb, because you got many compounds, you need to prove to them that yeah, all those compounds are there,
Right.
and so it becomes a bit challenging.
Hmm.
And plus, these compounds may appear or disappear because of your plant type, your soil condition, your weather.
Hmm.
So this become a challenge, how to address this. So that's why our work was mainly to look at it. We had hundreds of scientists working in this area. We zoom in
Mhm.
into this aspect. The problem with this kind of research is generally botanical drug kind of research, they don't involve people in the agro science, in the agronomy, the
Hmm.
planters.
Right.
So that missing link makes it difficult for the conventional research to carry forth. I mean, other
Oh.
kind of research you can do it is standard. You do your safety tests in rats, in animals, in dogs, and human trial. That is
Right.
standard. But when you cannot control your source of your material and your manufacturing stuff, so it
Hmm.
becomes a challenge.
And one other thing which I wanted to ask you, that maybe herbal medicine could be more effective for treating a lot of different diseases. But why currently these days we see that herbal medicine is not being used as a prescription drug? What's the reason behind that?
As I mentioned, the challenge in producing consistent quality
Hmm.
of herbal drug, because when you become a supplement, you're not claiming to treat any disease.
Hmm.
So it's okay if the quality fluctuates. But as a drug, if the drug is not effective because of quality, it can be harmful to the patient. Your patient taking, just imagine a cancer patient taking the drug, that particular season, the active compound is low, and the drug is not effective, it can kill the cancer patient. Fortunately, the US FDA and the European Medical Agency and many regulatory authorities in 2005, they
Mhm.
introduced a regulation for herb to become prescription drug,
Oh,
like
really?
yeah,
Okay.
like the standard drug today.
Mhm.
But because of lack of understanding and the complexity in this area, to date, there's only probably about 6 or 7 drugs, prescription drug based on herb,
Oh,
which is approved by the US FDA. There is a push for this kind of drugs to come into the market because people tend to perceive they generally tend to be generally safer.
right,
And in terms of effectiveness, sometimes they may appear to be more effective.
right.
I mean, like a certain disease condition, you need to, for example, complex disease like cancer or
Mhm.
metabolic disease like diabetes, hypertension, because when this disease happen, it is due to a variety of reasons. And sometimes taking one particular agent or treatment agent may not be as effective. So, like for example, a lot of push in these botanical drugs uh, have been coming in, mainly for cannabis type of products, which for to treatment of pain and certain mental health conditions. And this has pretty much forced regulatory authorities in many countries, including Malaysia.
Oh,
They
okay.
started introducing new laws, new guidelines to allow herb to become a prescription drug. Because
Hmm.
towards the end of the day, a researcher, a company, for them to develop a drug, they need the guideline.
Right.
Guideline is like a road. If you tell me this is the destination and this is the road, I can reach the destination.
That's right.
But if
Of
you tell
course.
me, okay, there's a destination, but I do not know what's the road, so it's very difficult. If I
Of
take
course.
aeroplane, they say, sorry, you're not allowed to take the aeroplane. But you
Hmm.
didn't tell me that you can't take aeroplane. so, so this
Right.
guideline started coming into being because of the push by the public and the research community, and it has now enabled for herb to become drug like any other drug. But
Right.
you need to show evidence of consistency in quality,
Right.
consistency in safety, and strong clinical data to show
Right.
that the drug is effective.
Hmm.
Similar to conventional medicine, like if you want to make a claim that your drug is effective, you need to do a proper clinical trial according to the international guideline, compare your product against a what they call it a placebo, and
Hmm.
show that the drug is more effective.
Which are the most important factors in choosing a herbal medicine? For example, I'm a patient and I would like to choose a herbal medicine. What should I confirm before taking a medicine from the market?
Yeah, one of the main important aspect when choosing a herbal based product
Mhm.
is from a source that uses certified manufacturing facility like GMP manufacturing facility, good
Okay.
manufacturing practice. In the GMP manufacturing facility, because it is governed by their Ministry of Health, key things, once you produce your product, you must test for presence of heavy metal. Could be
Okay.
arsenic, lead, mercury.
Hmm.
These kind of compounds tend to be naturally present in the soil.
Okay.
So when you plant a herb in the plantation, they tend
Hmm.
to suck up some of this heavy metal.
Hmm.
So when you manufacture as an extract, this
Hmm.
heavy metal may be in large quantity and they can damage your kidney. It may be a safe herb, but because of the source of plantation is contaminated, many ex-mining soil, they are contaminated, and sometimes even areas in certain areas where there are high level of volcanic activity tend
Mhm.
to have certain heavy metals like mercury that is naturally present. When you make into a concentrated extract,
Hmm.
concentrated product, it can have an effect. So by law, the company must do this testing and validate to show to the regulatory authorities there are absence of these heavy metals, which is by law,
Okay.
international. And the other thing is we look for is presence of microbes like E. coli, right? You have
Hmm.
to, and certain fungus, which also can be harmful. You have to
Hmm.
show that there is no E. coli, no sort of this kind of fungus. And there's sometimes your storage condition, you didn't store your product properly. It have this
Mhm.
one compound called aflatoxin. It's a toxin
Mhm.
that naturally occurs. And
Right.
this toxin can cause liver cancer. So in a GMP certified manufacturing, you are required by law to test for these heavy metals, test for these microbes. This at least as a baseline, the product is at least safe. That is basic. And then most countries, of course, by law, for herbal products, they require it. It is standard. The next level
Mhm.
is effectiveness, i.e.
Right.
quality. So the quality is missing in most products, because to validate the presence of the active compounds,
Mhm.
it costs a lot of money.
That's right, of
This
course.
is not required by law. It's optional.
Mhm.
But for companies who are making their products to be of drug standard, they will
Right.
invest millions of dollars to make sure that, hey, this is the active compounds, you know, and at the same time, these companies will do clinical trial to show that, hey, this product has this effect compared to the placebo, bringing this benefit. This component is more expensive. Previously, the private entities, they do not want to fund
Of course.
herbal research, because why?
That's a problem.
They think of intellectual property is weak. So
Mm.
because they think it is difficult to protect the intellectual property, so funders refuse to fund this kind of projects. As they become familiar, they understand that the fact that the regulatory authorities, because it becomes a drug and it's a polymolecular,
Mhm.
they it is not easy to, they call it, to create a generic or copy. It is very
Mhm.
difficult to do that. And
Right.
because if you say, okay, I have proven that my strawberry extract is
Mhm.
effective for treating cold, right? And then another company says, hey, we also want to claim our extract is effective for cold. The regulatory authorities will ask, where is your clinical evidence? From your own manufacturing, from your own plantation. And they say, oh, we don't have, but that company got it. So yeah, but that is from their plantation, from their manufacturing. It's not the same.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
this has created some kind of attraction to for companies to go into these botanical drugs, particularly in difficult diseases like cancer,
Mhm.
neurological disease like Alzheimer, because there are many things happening and there's no cure currently. The synthetic medicine is not able to reach certain targets. There is some improvement in prolonging of life,
Mhm.
um, but there are still huge challenges with other cancers. I mean, for example, okay, if you have colon cancer stage 4, it is very difficult for you to live beyond 2 years.
Mm.
So hence, they've tried all kind of other research, still, not showing that results. Other
Uh-oh.
cancers, there are a lot of progress, like breast cancer. If you get the standard treatment, it's a good chance you living up to 10 years. You know,
Mm.
uh, yeah. So these are some of the issues.
You mentioned that US FDA and other regulatory authorities, they take certain measures before they approve any herbal medicine. I understand what you're saying, but being an end user, I would like to consume any herbal medicine, for example, myself, and I go to a shop, I go to a pharmacy, and I ask them, I got this kind of problem. Do you have any herbal medicine? Means this is the attitude which generally people have. How can I determine, being an end user who knows nothing about this terminology, who knows nothing about all these issues, how could he or she choose a herbal medicine for treating any disease?
So when coming to when you go to the pharmacies and doctors, with respect to natural herbal medicine,
Mhm.
there are very limited herbal-based medicine which have clinical results,
Oh,
strong clinical results. So
right.
there's extremely, very, very few.
Mhm.
And that also, as I mentioned to you previously,
Right.
it may be a study done in a country where the product is sourced from their country. from a different plantation. Most of the products that that is being marketed to these doctors and pharmacies are not, they don't have clinical evidence to support it. But given the nature, depends on the nature. If the nature of the treatment is maybe for cough and cold, it's not
Okay.
life-threatening. And okay, evidence out there, we know vitamin C is useful for cough and cold. I mean, for flu, influenza,
Right.
for example, in shortening the duration, boost the immune system. So therefore, one can extrapolate the fact that, okay, here is my product, which is rich in vitamin C. It has a certain milligram, so therefore it may benefit, right? Or
Right.
people rely on traditional data,
Right.
traditional medicine. Okay, this is an established traditional formulation that has been produced for many hundreds of years. It has this benefit. But then again,
Right.
you fall into the same categories. Do you have clinical evidence of your product to be effective? Generally, you'll say no. Even big companies like, there are big multinational companies selling herbal-based drugs. To go to clinical trial to make claims is challenging because each herb requires a different manufacturing process. It starts from source of plantation, manufacturing. So it can be more of like testimonials. So many of them use testimonial. Oh yeah, a lot of people use it. They find it's good. And so as a supplement, it's okay to rely on testimonial. You try it. It may work, it may not work. This is the classical problem when
Right.
we take herbal business from pharmacy doctors. But nowadays there are companies producing with some level of evidence, a small
Okay.
study to show that, okay, this product, if you take it, it shorten the duration of cough and cold.
Right.
But not that many. This kind of products is slowly coming into the market at the supplement category, backed with some level of clinical evidence to show that yes, I have data to show that my product is safe. It's a
Right.
good manufacturing practice. Here, I look at it as small clinical studies to show that in these patients, this product bring this benefit. You know, and
Right.
and as I said, but it is limited.
Are there any medicines produced by your laboratory which are available in the market and which people could think of using at this moment?
One of our core work has been there's this herb called cat's whiskers herb,
Mm-hmm.
or scientifically known as Otosiphon staminus.
Okay.
We've been working on it. My part, I did about 15 years, but before that, there were other groups who've been working another 15 years. There are other issues like the science of plantation, how to grow the herb. It takes many years of research. And but again, I was looking more at mechanism-based
Mm-hmm.
uh, drug development. So I tune the extract to target a specific mechanism. So in
Okay.
order to do that, the you have to try different type of solvent, because solvent is the one that extract out the active compounds, because the plant's got many active compounds. All right. Some active compounds are good for certain things. Some active compounds are not good for certain things. Right. So when mechanism-based drug development, we use certain solvent to extract out these active compounds, and we focus on this, in the drug development strategy. Like I was talking just now for this angiogenesis. This angiogenesis, the process of new blood vessel development, 70% of human diseases occurs because of this mechanism has gone out of control. And this, what drives this angiogenesis also, insufficient of angiogenesis can be
Right.
a problem too. You have diabetic wound that doesn't heal, cause of lack of ability to be fertile, to produce children, you know.
Mm.
And
Right.
so this is also, and then on the other spectrum, too much angiogenesis, the cancer can grow very fast. It also causes obesity,
Mm.
you know, and it causes inflammation in your joints, causes rheumatoid arthritis, and so on. So I developed this. I focus in this herb and for this angiogenesis mechanism,
Okay.
and to concentrate the active compound. One of the major one is called rosmarinic acid,
Right.
and then the presence of all these other compounds surrounding it as well helps in terms of the absorption and effectiveness of the product. So the problem is when we did laboratory research doesn't really complement well in manufacturing in industrial scale, because
Right.
like for example, a simple analogy, people loves making I mean, for example, when you make rice, a pot of rice, how to cook rice, you use a specific amount of rice and water, a small pot.
Right.
But if you use a big pot, the ratio changes slightly. And the bigger it is, the ratio changes because there are other physical chemical parameters that changes. Even when you make food like curry, you know, if
Right.
you want to cook for a small group, yes, it's easy to control, but large scale production is different.
Mm.
So when we produce in large scale, commercial scale manufacturing, the study that we've done in the laboratory needs to be, you need to redo it. You need
Right.
to redo the whole thing to get
Mm.
this effectiveness. And so for us, we did the trial we did clinical studies. First, we did in the, the animal studies to show that the active compounds, when the animal is fed, it is in the blood. When we do a human trial, we make sure we check and see whether is the active compounds in the plasma, in the blood, how long does it last, is it safe, does it cause any toxicity and stuff like that.
Mm.
So that is basic. Other trials associated with the disease. So we look at one clinical study that we are currently doing for diabetic retinopathy. Diabetic
Okay.
retinopathy is when people have diabetes, the retinal cell is not getting enough blood supply.
Mm.
It is stimulating the body to produce blood supply underneath the retina.
Oh,
When this
okay.
occurs, the retina get detached, will become blind.
Mm.
And so we are doing a trial on our drug because based on our preclinical animal studies, we found that taking this drug may help to prevent this diabetic retinopathy. So this
Oh,
trial is currently ongoing.
ongoing. Okay.
Ongoing, and we have recruited close to 100 patients and see
Mm.
whether this product can stop this tumor, this new blood vessels formation underneath the retina and help to heal people who have heal or manage people with diabetic.
This medicine, this herbal medicine seems to be very effective, very interesting, and I'm sure that a lot of people would like to get it. And what's the name of the medicine which you have developed?
Well, we have in our product we have like a different category of this product. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we are doing cancer research at the same time for treatment for breast cancer and colon cancer. Then
Mm-hmm.
that is in a very high dose formulation,
Right.
and then we have the lower dosage, the supplement dosage.
Mm-hmm.
And this the supplement dosage is because based on our clinical studies, one of the things that I mentioned just now, angiogenesis. What drives this angiogenesis is oxidative stress. When your
Okay.
body in physiologic stress because of your metabolic disease, your liver function is not operating, you're obese, your body is not digesting properly, your stress level increase. There is one inflammatory marker that represent oxidative stress. They call it F2 isoprostane. This inflammatory marker causes um, has been found to be elevated, increased in higher level in people who have cancer, people who have diabetes, viral disease, and it is like one of the prominent marker that represent your health condition, your disease state. So we did one clinical study on our extract on cancer patients who were undergoing chemotherapy and stuff like that. So in these patients, we look into their urine, this F2 isoprostane marker.
Mhm.
So cancer patients, generally their F2 isoprostane is very high.
Okay.
So in our patients in the patients that were treated with our extract, our drug, shows significant decrease in their F2 isoprostane level.
Okay.
This is the first study of its kind to look at
Hmm.
cancer patient in this F2 isoprostane. What we also found was
Mhm.
these patients who took this novastatic, the drug is called novastatic, yeah, and
Okay.
in the trial,
Right.
they experience significant level of decrease in fatigue,
Oh,
cancer-induced fatigue, and
right.
also they had less level of pain,
Oh,
and
really?
we found that they were also less stressed, yeah, during the trial. So it is showing that our drug, is with its property, is reducing this F2 isoprostane,
Right.
which at the same time, as you can see, it translates back to the physiologic health of the patients. So these
Right.
patients were healthier, less fatigue, and they didn't suffer the as much adverse effect compared to the placebo group
Okay.
when they were undergoing their chemotherapy treatment. So this F2 isoprostane is a major health marker. It is the only clinical trial that is done for, for our product for looking at this marker of oxidative stress.
Right.
So, uh, so we produce even a supplement version of the product,
Hmm.
and which is called blood cleanser here in Australia. We have this product,
Okay.
and to help to reduce this oxidative stress marker, because people who have diabetes, hypertension, a lot of these other metabolic kind of syndrome problem, they will suffer from oxidative stress, and
Right.
this oxidative stress can cause further damage to their organs and tissues,
Hmm.
and this blood cleanser can help to minimize this damage. And the same time, uh, uh, this herb, cat's whiskers herb, it is a well-known herb in traditionally in Southeast Asia. People use it for to manage gout, because it has a diuretic effect, natural diuretic effect, flushing effect. So
Okay.
it reduces uric acid, and also helps to manage a healthier level of blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol level. And
Right.
so this product is an excellent product for your general health management, and
Okay.
also for people who even above 40 years old, when we have a lot of health problems starting to emerge.
Yeah.
It is an excellent product for that purpose as well. We
Hmm.
have done some research as well with some university in Monash University to show that the extract of this blood cleanser that is an animal study, of course, it's not a clinical
Okay.
study. We show that it helped to slow down the progression of symptom of Alzheimer in the animal
Oh,
model, and
really?
also helps to reduce, no, sorry, it helps to improve memory in the animal
Right.
models. Of course, we didn't do a clinical trial on this, which we plan to do in the future. But
Right.
at least these are some of the evidence, scientific evidence that can potentially suggest that the potential benefit for us to
Right.
take even as a supplement or to manage our current health state, because
Right.
our lifestyle, our eating disorder, our too much
Yeah.
carbohydrate, our sedentary lifestyle. We need something that can help to protect our health. And
Right.
we are already living a sedentary lifestyle, and our food is not of good quality. We don't eat enough fruits and vegetables and stuff like that,
That's right.
which further makes things problematic. I
That's true.
myself have been, as a researcher, because I believe strongly in this particular product. I've been taking it for the past almost 15 years,
Oh, okay.
and
Right.
because your results shown that this is something of benefit, and why wait? Why wait? If you
Right. Of
know that
course.
yes,
Of course.
as a health supplement, that's the something that you take, because I'm very particular about what is out there in the market.
That's right.
um I have I personally don't have confidence in what is really out there,
Right.
um, unless it is a product that has clinical evidence,
Mm.
strong scientific data. Then I be confident. If not, I just focus in eating healthy and exercise.
Right. So it means it could be used as a preventive medicine as well. Right.
Because of the nature of the antioxidant properties.
Right.
Antioxidant can
Mhm.
is generally known to have properties that can help to protect our health.
Okay.
As I said, we didn't do clinical study to show that it can reduce the risk of getting diseases.
Okay.
So, but anecdotal data, I mean, being an antioxidant, protect all this oxidative stress, because those contributes to 70% of our health problem. So if you can, it is well established, you eat well, exercise, take your fruits and vegetables which high in antioxidant,
That's
can
right.
reduce the risk of getting cancer, cardiovascular disease. So once we take a product and consistently, and if you know that the product is of good quality, and you can at least be confident that it's not going to cause you long-term damage to your organs and tissues and stuff like that. I know
Yes.
people, there are report people taking even certain type of tea,
Mhm.
they had enormous health benefit. But also we know of cases where people had kidney failure because they took a particular kind of tea, because that
Oh,
tea was grown by uh, some plantation which was not following the proper practice, the
oh,
pesticides, the herbicides inside there.
right.
So in our development, we are stringent the fact no pesticide, no herbicide in the plantation, because any presence of this herbicide and pesticides will be detected in our system, in our quality control system towards the end of the day. Even sometimes, even the fertilizer. Sometimes there are fertilizers which are organic fertilizer, even they have high level of arsenic,
Oh,
because the animals were fed with certain medication which has laced with arsenic, and this goes
right.
into the fertilizer, and then when you feed the plants will have high level of arsenic.
Mm.
So this is the thing. People are learning,
That's
the
right.
community is learning, and
Mm.
that's why we set up a non-profit organization
Right.
called Iman Research here in Australia. We try to educate the scientific community
Okay.
about botanical drugs. We share our knowledge, our information. In fact, we are
Right.
having a conference next year and end of the
Oh,
year
mashallah.
for botanical drug conference, whereby we have people in the agroscience,
Mhm.
pharmaceutical sciences sit down
Right.
together and exchange ideas and how to develop um, botanical drugs or herbal-based drug.
Sir, people under which age groups could use blood cleanser?
Well, blood cleanser is mainly recommended for people who are 40 and above.
Mhm.
Uh, but of course, in we did all the safety trials. Um, based on those guidelines, it is for 18 and above. Because there's some people nowadays, younger age, they are having health problem.
Yes.
Um, there are quite a lot of problem of gout at young age
Yeah.
because of obesity. And this, it has been shown that if you have gout, there's a higher risk of you developing diabetes. Gout is basically you're going to have uric acid crystals damaging your kidney, which can lead to kidney failure. Yeah.
Oh.
So it should be taken seriously.
Right.
So at the same time, while maybe you're going to start changing your lifestyle, change your diet, sometimes some people can't even change their lifestyle because the obesity, they have knee problem, they can't do much physical exercise.
Yes.
So this product may be useful for them and
Right.
helping them to manage to try to keep their, um, your organs and tissues healthy and try to keep the what do you call it, healthy level of uric acid. Because this
Right.
blood cleanser, one of the properties, it is diuretic. It's
Right.
naturally diuretic. In the European Medical Agency, the herb, this cat's whiskers herb, Orthosipon seminis, has been approved for use as a traditionally used for urinary tract infection because it
Right.
helped to flush your urethra, and so yes, so this is some of these the properties that it has. Yeah. So
Right.
age-wise, even there were some studies that was done by other groups on
Okay.
this herb using similar solvent extract, but of course those are very basic animal study issues that it can increase bone collagen, and
Okay.
this is useful for people who are postmenopausal,
Right.
their bones get brittles and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And yeah, so this is some of the properties.
Sir, while I was looking at the pictures you provided me about the blood cleanser, I saw that it was mentioned that it can help you control blood pressure, diabetes level, and a lot of other diseases. So, could you please tell us which are the problems which this medicine could help solve?
So from regulatory point of view, in terms of where we come in,
Mhm.
so when you see the doctor, this doctor say, hey, your blood sugar is pressure is a bit on the high side. You better
Mhm.
change your lifestyle and your diet. These are the kind of groups that can benefit.
Okay.
So we tell people, okay, if you this will help to manage your blood sugar to a healthy level, blood pressure and uric acid, even cholesterol, keep it at
Okay.
a healthy level. And because it
Right.
before you start having the disease, it starts going yo-yo, up and
Yeah.
down, up and down. So
Mhm.
this and at the same time as it goes up and down,
Mhm.
it will damage your organs and tissues. So this is
Mhm.
where this blood cleanser comes in. For the treatment of diabetes and treatment of hypertension, this has to be evidence in clinical trial, which we didn't do a clinical trial for the treatment of diabetes and hypertension. But
Okay.
we recommend for people who are in terms of trying to manage their keep their blood pressure, blood uric acid, and
Okay.
also as a preventative medicine for oxidative stress, which
Okay.
can, because it's a chain reaction. Once you
Right.
have it, it start getting worse and worse and worse, like corrosion.
Mhm.
If your car get rust, if you don't treat it, eventually there's going to be a hole in the car.
Are there any side effects of this blood cleanser?
Well, the for people who have a low blood pressure, at
Mhm.
times they may have slight headache. People have
Mhm.
low pressure. This is normally because this product has a diuretic properties. So you need to drink sufficient amount of water. That's what we have found in our studies. Some a small percentage of the population seems to have this problem.
Right.
I have low blood pressure,
Mhm.
so I don't have that headache problem. But
Okay.
only some people have that, and the body normally tend to accommodate. If people have this problem, obviously they can discuss with the doctor that stop taking if you find that it is persistently causing this problem. And other than that, we have not seen other issues based on our clinical studies and
Right.
quite extensive toxicology studies we have done.
As you know, that we are representing the halal times, and most of our viewers are Muslims. So is this medicine halal?
Yes, the product blood cleanser is halal,
Mhm.
certified here in Australia. The
Okay.
extract, the active ingredient as well, is certified halal by
Right.
the Malaysian JAKIM
Mhm.
halal authority. They are very, very strict on this,
Okay. Yeah.
and this is very, very important. And in our factory also is located in Halal Park,
Oh,
and
okay. Right.
which is so the halal aspect of it is built throughout this whole manufacturing and then our supply chain. And even the capsule that we use here, they are suitable for vegetarian. And
Right.
so we try to, because people who have this problem they come from all various type of religious background,
Okay.
and try to make it as compatible as many people as possible.
So this medicine can be used by anybody, not
It
just
can
Muslim,
be.
but everybody.
That's right. That's right.
MashaAllah, that's really amazing. And sir, a large number of visitors come from Australia. How could they buy blood cleanser? For example, if they're based in Australia, who should they contact?
So mainly in Australia, this blood cleanser is available online. Few clinics that do have supply this product.
Mhm.
And so if you can visit the website, nature-ceuticals.com.au,
Mhm.
purchase it from there.
Right,
We send to anywhere in the world from there as well.
right,
And at the same time we have the um, some clinics, but clinics you have to get it directly uh, from their medical practitioner.
and people could contact you directly as well, right?
Yes, they
Via
can always
email.
email us, and then
Yes.
we can answer their questions. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can.
Okay.
And we have also the FAQ,
Mhm.
frequently asked questions in our webpage, that
Right.
can probably answer some of these the concern. And
Right.
yeah, you can see you. I mean, you can check up the company NatureCeuticals.
Mhm.
We have done. We are doing a lot of clinical trials, and this is like we are pushing this area of research very, very far ahead. And
Okay.
we a lot of our projects are funded by the Malaysian government. This is evidence of their trust in our research, that
Right.
it is highly vetted, and we hope that we can bring a fruitful outcome.
For the last, almost for the last 2 years, the whole world is suffering from COVID-19, and this disease has been widespread. A lot of people all over the world, they've died, and a lot more than that, they have been suffering from the after effects of COVID-19. And millions of people, they are having this coronavirus problem these days, and it's for some of them it's becoming very serious. So do you think that this drug, this blood cleanser, could be helpful for those type of people as well?
Well, we did a clinical study on, as I mentioned earlier on, cancer fatigue,
Okay.
and that study finished in
Mhm.
2019.
Okay.
And in that study, we found out that because our drug targets one particular target called interleukin 6, and it is an inflammatory marker. And
Okay.
as I mentioned before, our product has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. So we early in 2019, when the COVID outbreak started coming in, we realized that, hey, you know, our drug potentially can target similar receptor for this interleukin-6, which may be useful for COVID-19. And we had some preclinical studies to show that it does bind to that receptor.
Okay.
And we got a special approval to do a clinical trial on severe COVID, moderate to severe COVID-19, mainly severe, those people who require oxygen support for COVID-19, a pilot clinical studies and a placebo control by a small group. And in that study, we found it amazingly that the extract, the active compound, helped to reduce the duration of hospital stay and severity of the disease. And you can see the interleukin-6 marker in the plasma, which is one of the major indicator for this, the progression of this COVID-19 was significantly reduced. And you can find out about some of the studies. You can search, you know, NatureCeuticals under this. That study was under the product Novastatic, same active compound as this blood cleanser. And yeah, you can find that work. So we got special funding to do a phase 3 trial for this COVID-19 on severe patients. We are trying to get it started in Malaysia.
Okay.
And although we got approval in India to do the trial, but our funders requires it to be done. The condition of the fund is to be done in Malaysia. So yeah, we believe that it may benefit these people who have COVID-19, but this needs to be proven in the clinical studies. But at least we know that as one of the other major problems with COVID-19, they call it the long COVID, where the fatigue because of these after the disease, which is it can occur for many months. And as I mentioned to you, we did the trial for cancer fatigue, and that again, that F2 isoprostane, which is the marker of oxidative stress, is elevated in during viral infection. And so therefore this extract can help at least to combat the symptom of fatigue, post-viral fatigue.
Okay.
And maybe with these other properties that are anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties can help in the recovery phase.
Okay.
For the treatment-wise, for the treatment of COVID-19, that trial is ongoing. It needs to be proven in the clinical study to see whether it is effective for that.
But for example, if I'm having fatigue, so how much dosage I should be using?
In the clinical study that we did for the cancer fatigue, it was 1,000 milligram 3 times a day in that study.
Right.
So if you put that in equation in the blood cleanser, it's like 3 capsules 3 times a day. That is if you based on that clinical study that we did.
Before meal or after meals?
This must be taken after meal.
After meal. Yeah. How much time after meals?
Oh, it's approximately about 4 hours. So 4 to 5 hours. Let's say you can have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Thank you so much for your valuable time, which you've taken out of your very busy schedule. And I hope, inshallah, we will be able to catch up with each other very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Maksud. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time.
It, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
Thanks
care.
a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.